Hey everyone, welcome back to Stony Brook Acres. Today I'd like to share my review of a smartwatch I just got last week, the Pebble Time 2. The smartwatch market today is saturated with watches that try to cram every feature your phone has onto your wrist. Usually at the expense of battery life, ease of use, and, well, expense. There's ultra fitness tracking watches, watches with tons of sensors, watches with LTE so you can leave your smartphone at home, and watches made for runners and cyclists that have long battery life and built-in GPS. But there's trade-offs for everything. You want long battery life, you typically give up a lot of the customization, and you have limited apps. You want all the bells and whistles and sensors, your cost goes up, and your battery life goes down. And if you're used to wearing a regular non-smartwatch, something I've done since I was a kid, there's some things you end up giving up with most smartwatches today. A screen that's always on, real buttons, and not having to recharge your watch every day or two, unless you choose the Pebble Time 2. A quick rundown on the specs of the Pebble Time 2. It has a 1.5 inch 64 color always on e-paper display, which you can see does quite well outside. The top and bottom case are CNC milled stainless steel 316. It has 4 buttons that are also CNC milled stainless steel. You can see they have cross hatching on them, which helps with texture. Has a hardened ceramic like PVD coating and a Gorilla Glass lens, which I currently actually have another screen protector put over top of it, hence the little bubble there, because you can never be too careful. It has 2 microphones and a waterproof speaker. Has a strong and quiet linear resonant actuator, aka the vibrating motor. Has a heart rate sensor, which you can actually see working currently. A 6-axis IMU sensor for step and sleep tracking. Has 30 meters water resistance. Has a compass sensor built in for, you guessed it, the compass on your wrist. Has a touch screen, and last but definitely not least, it has between 2 and 4 weeks of battery life. Currently, the average Pebble Time 2 lasts about 2 weeks between charges, but with software updates, they're confident they can get the hardware up to about 4 weeks in between charges. The Pebble Time 2 will also come with a 22mm watch band. It's just a standard connection. It has quick release pins on it. You can see that there. I replaced it with a band that I actually already had, 22mm band. Makes it really convenient. Also comes with a small little charging dongle that you can use. Focus there. There we go. Any USB-C cable, you plug it in, and that just pops in the back of your Pebble to charge it. Everyone has their own preferences and needs. Mine might be different from yours, and that's okay. I'm 47, married to the love of my life, raising 3 amazing kids. One just got back from her first year in college. To say our lives are busy would be an understatement. Between work, school, and sports, projects on our home and property, church, and spending time with our family, most weeks are jam-packed from start to finish. I'm in a stage of life where I value convenience over complication. I want tech that's intuitive, easy to use, and makes my life easier. How does Pebble Time 2 do that? I'm glad you asked. An always-on screen. I can glance at the screen without being obvious, very handy in boring meetings or conversations. And it's much easier to be subtle when your screen's always on and not flashing like a little beacon anytime you try to look at it. The e-paper screen's easy to read even in direct sunlight. The buttons. Hands get dirty. Sometimes it's concrete or drywall dust from a job site. Sometimes it's dirt from working in the garden. Could be grease from working on an engine. Or something unidentifiable you wiped off your toddler. When that happens, the last thing you want to do is touch a touchscreen with those dirty fingers. That's where buttons really shine. You have real control without even looking at the watch. You can play and pause music, accept or reject calls. You can bring up apps for a quick glance. Instead of scrolling through the menu to find the apps I use the most, the buttons also allow me to use Pebble's quick launch feature. A total of 7 apps you can launch or actions you can take. No need to swipe or scroll to get the apps you use the most. It's quick, convenient. More on how I use that later. The timeline. You can see upcoming events, alarms, flights, concerts. There's probably an app for whatever you want to keep track of on your timeline. And last but definitely not least, a really long battery life. Think weeks versus hours or days. I have enough stuff to charge daily. I don't need one more thing to add to my list. Thinking about how I could explain why I prefer the Pebble Time 2 over other smartwatches, I believe the best way to show you how useful it is to take you through a normal day. I use my favorite alarm app, GenAwake, to wake me up. The vibrations on my wrist wake me and not my wife. If I double press the bottom button, it snoozes it, but it'll wake me up again and keep waking me up until I enter the code. Great feature for a heavy sleeper like me. Once I'm awake, I can actually scroll through my timeline. I have it set for a short press on the down button. I get up pretty early, so in the mornings, I will typically see the sunrise on my timeline. If I select the sunrise, it'll actually come up with the weather for the day. If you're like me and you work outside some days, knowing what the weather's going to be comes in pretty handy. While Pebble doesn't market itself as a fitness watch, it does have a lot of fitness tracking features. You can track your steps, your sleep, and your heart rate. I have my middle button mapped to an app called Gym Tracker. I use this in the mornings to work out. The app shows your heart rate, counts down between rests, tells you what your next set is. Pretty handy. And you can use it on the treadmill. When I head to work, the Pebble Time 2 makes work a little easier as well. I have my top button mapped to an app called Checklist, which just is a list of can be to-dos, material to grab, whatever you need. It's really handy. It's nice not having to have your phone in hand when you're shopping or if you're grabbing material for a job. You can add items by voice or you can add them in the app. It's one of my most used apps on the watch. My Pebble Time 2 also helps with productivity. I use it to filter out notifications from my phone, ones that aren't really important. In the Pebble Time 2 app, you can actually go through and select which notifications get through from what app you have on your phone. You can even select what context notifications are allowed to get through. Helps keep me from being distracted and from really dealing with unimportant notifications. Having the important notifications get through and be able to check them at a glance on my watch helps me know when I need to get my phone out, pick up a call, respond to an email or text message, and when it's not really important. The Pebble Time 2 comes in handy when you're sitting at your desk and you need a reminder to make sure you get that quote to your boss. There it is. It also comes in handy when you're heading out there or on a job site. It can help you remember what's coming up soon. Many of the watch faces will have what they call a timeline preview feature, where your upcoming notifications or events on your timeline will actually show up at the bottom of your screen. Comes in really handy, so in case you have a meeting coming up, need to be reminded to pick up kids up from volleyball practice. It's a great reminder. Really makes a difference. The timeline feature comes in really handy. Upcoming events will pop up at the bottom of your watch face, So when you glance at the time, you realize, oh, hey, that's right. There's a job site meeting coming up soon. Finally, after a hard day at work, I head home. If you're grilling for dinner, you need to keep track of, timer for your meat. There's an app for that. Were you making steak? Lamb? No, not pork tonight. Oh, here you go. Just some chicken breast. Okay. Ooh. This is one of my favorite apps. Grill timer. Lots of different options in there. You keep track of your meats you're cooking. Really handy. Go back now, and yes, you can actually add more than one if you happen to have a couple different cuts of meat on there. After dinner, maybe the kids need some help with math, and math's never really been your strong suit. Well, that's okay. Now you have a calculator on your wrist. Thanks to the touch screen, you can look like a math genius. Taking the kids to the park and you taking them on some trails. How about a compass? Built right in your wrist. 2 different versions. One horizontal like this. Oops. And one vertical. You can show the kids how the compass works. And for all you outdoor enthusiasts, you have an easy to read screen in broad daylight, built-in compass, and a backlight that's adjustable so you can make it red, save your night vision, and also adjust it for when it comes on so you're not scaring off all the wildlife. You can turn your backlight to red, help save your night vision. There's apps for just about everything you could want. Chances are, if you're interested in it, someone's probably created an app for it. The vast majority of them are free. There are a few that you have to pay for companion apps, but if that's the case for most of them, they're usually a lot more in depth, a lot more complicated. But yeah, typically whatever you want, there's usually an app for it. One of the best features and most useful is being able to reply with your voice to messages. Sure, honey, I'll grab milk. Love you. And as you can see, dictation is great. Punctuation, everything. It's probably one of the best dictation software I've ever seen. It really works great, so that's super handy. One caveat about everything I mentioned you can do with the Pebble Watch is that this is on an Android platform. On the iPhone, Apple platform, it doesn't work quite the same. There are some things they restrict them to do. As we know, Apple doesn't like to play nice with other vendors. But all these features you can get at a fraction of the cost of most smartwatches today. Pebble Time 2 is currently selling for $225 on repebble.com. That's repebble.com if you want to check it out. One of the best things about Pebble is that they've always been great about updating their software, adding new features and abilities. The speaker, the touchscreen, that's all new technology for them. So I expect a lot more features utilizing these in the future. According to Eric Mijakowski, the Pebble's founder and refounder, there's even an SPO2 sensor on board that's just not being utilized yet. So hopefully someday they'll actually get that active in the health tracking. As I said before, my needs might not be your needs. But if you're in a busy stage of life, if you value convenience over complication, if you want something that's just going to work well for you and not ask a lot of you in charging and constantly maintaining it, if you don't want to drop $400 or $600 on a smartwatch, but you like something to make life a little bit easier, I highly recommend the Pebble Time 2.